a modern-day girl, is reborn in a fantasy world as a noble villainess named Alicia, the antagonist of an otome game she used to play. She realizes that in the game's plot, her character is destined for a bad ending, and she vows to change her fate by becoming an infamous villainess who will be remembered in history. Her plan involves not being dethroned by the heroine and taking control of her life, but a mysterious twist occurs. Prince Cedric, the male lead, starts showing her unusual affection. Alicia begins plotting ways to establish her image as a villainess, attempting to bully the game's heroine while keeping her dignity intact. Her efforts are comically thwarted, as each evil act turns into something seen as noble by others. Meanwhile, Prince Cedric grows more interested in her, misunderstanding her actions as signs of wit and intelligence. She begins to realize that her attempts at villainy only seem to endear her to the prince. The heroine of the otome game, Emma, is introduced, and Alicia tries to start a rivalry with her. However, her actions backfire, and Emma idolizes Alicia, thinking she is a misunderstood figure. Alicia's frustration grows as she realizes that the plot is not following the original game's storyline. Prince Cedric continues to misunderstand her actions and becomes more protective of her. Alicia discovers that some of the other characters, including the game's usual male leads, are also drawn to her. Her villainous persona only seems to attract more attention, even from characters who should be enemies. Alicia struggles to maintain her plans while also realizing that Cedric's affection could be problematic for her villainous route. Cedric confesses his growing admiration for Alicia, but she doesn't believe him. She suspects it's part of a larger scheme or that it's related to the plot of the game. Despite her best efforts to push him away, the more she tries to act as a villainess, the more he dotes on her, causing confusion and awkward situations. A grand royal ball is held, and Alicia is invited as one of the important guests. She sees this as the perfect opportunity to make her villainous reputation known to all. However, Prince Cedric publicly expresses his affection for her, making her the center of attention in a positive way rather than infamous. Alicia tries to sabotage herself, but her plans backfire once again. Alicia is approached by jealous noble ladies who want to bring her down, but Cedric's support continues to shield her from any harm. Meanwhile, other love interests from the game also express their interest in her. Confused and frustrated, Alicia begins to doubt her original plan, realizing that the path of the villainess is not as straightforward as she thought. Alicia starts to uncover more about Cedric's true nature. He confesses that he has always been drawn to her strong-willed personality and isn't interested in the typical heroine. Alicia is conflicted because she doesn't want to follow the game's romantic route, but Cedric's sincerity makes her question whether she should accept her new role in the story. Alicia's attempts to create a rivalry with Emma continue to fail, and she's now being viewed as a heroine in her own right. Emma, Cedric, and others begin to rely on Alicia for support and advice, further complicating her plans. Her villainous image crumbles, and she begins to question what kind of future she actually wants in this world. Alicia realizes that her goals have shifted. Rather than trying to stick to the game's original plot, she decides to create her own path, one that's neither villainous nor heroic. She accepts Cedric's growing affection for her, but she also remains determined to build a powerful name for herself. The episode ends with a surprising twist as a new threat to the kingdom emerges. Alicia teams up with Emma and the other characters to face this new challenge, putting aside her initial villainous role. The characters' relationships grow deeper, and Alicia realizes that her fate is no longer tied to the game's bad ending. Her bond with Cedric strengthens, but new political conflicts arise in the kingdom. Cedric formally proposes to Alicia, solidifying her place in the royal family. However, Alicia hesitates, still unsure of whether she can trust the game's narrative to stay in her favor. She decides to accept Cedric's proposal, but only if they work together to change the future. The series closes on a hopeful note, leaving room for further adventures.